Oh, hey, we're back again.
See, you talked right through that line.
Yeah,
you talked
I know,
through
I know,
Ariel.
but like, screw position, whatever, who cares? The most important bit is, come on, all these guys suck. Where is she? There she is!
Oh, Anna
Sky
gone.
White!
I am the one who stole Reavers.
My everlasting crush on Anne Gunn. Anyways.
But before we start, just gotta say, this is far and away the best in the series of the Legacy of Kain ethos or game series. And start it.
At last. I must say I'm disappointed in your progress. I imagined you'd be here sooner. Tell me, did it trouble you to murder your brothers?
Did it trouble you when you ordered me into the abyss?
Eternity is relentless, Raziel. When I first stole into this chamber centuries ago, I did not fathom the true power of knowledge. To know the future, Raziel. To see its paths and streams tracing out into the infinite. As a man, I could never contain such forbidden truths. But each of us is so much more than we once were. Do you not feel with all your soul how we have become like gods? And as such, are we not indivisible? As long as a single one of us stands, we are legion. Our futures are predestined. Mobius foretold mine eons ago. We each play out the parts fate has written for us. Free will is an illusion.
I found the tomb of Sarafan, Kain. How could you profane a priest by turning him into a vampire?
How could I not? One must keep his friends close, Raziel, and his enemies even closer. Who better to serve me than those whose passion transcends all notions of good and evil?
The Sarafan were saviors, defending Nosgoth from the corruption that we represent. My eyes are open, Kain. I find no nobility in the unlife you rudely forced on my unwilling corpse.
You may have uncovered your past, but you know nothing of it. You think the Sarafan were noble, altruistic? Oh, don't be simple. Their agenda was the same as ours. You nearly had me, Raziel. But this is not where or how it ends. Fate promises more twists before this drama unfolds completely.
Raziel, Redeemer and Destroyer, Pawn and Messiah. Welcome, time-span soul. Welcome to your destiny. Where am I? Is the usual question. In your case, when might be more apt.
Very well, you old snake. If you'd prefer I use my bare hands,
This is completely unexpected. This orb disables our vampire enemies, leaving them helpless and incapacitated. Strangely, it seems to have the same effect on that peculiar weapon of yours. But you must believe me. I mean you no harm.
You can drop the benevolent facade, Mobius. I know who and what you are. I should kill you where you stand.
Perhaps you should, my boy. But you don't.
Are you so certain of that, Mobius?
My role as Time Guardian affords me a certain level of omniscience, Raziel. No, you don't kill me. That honor belongs to your maker, Kain, some 30 years from now.
Ah, you two are a pair. You're just as fatalistic as he is.
Death comes for us all, Raziel. It's just a matter of time.
How is it that you know my name? We have never met.
On the contrary, Raziel, I know you very well. And it grieves me to see how cruelly Kain has used you. I knew you when you were one of the Sarafan Brotherhood, Raziel. We were even close.
Oh, please.
Fortunately, you need not love me now to be my ally.
Are we within the stronghold of the Sarafan priesthood?
Yes, but the glorious days of the Sarafan have long since passed, I'm afraid. This is a more cynical and indecorous age. My mercenary army now inhabits this stronghold. We strive to honor the memory of the Sarafan with our own humble crusade.
Is this the vampire Vorador?
Yes, the scourge of the Circle, the most depraved and decadent example of his whole degenerate race. He slaughtered 6 of my fellow Guardians as they cowered defenseless in this room.
And you somehow survived this massacre?
I and 2 others. The Circle was devastated. Only we 3 were spared.
How convenient. You'll forgive me if I don't naively devour every scrap of information you toss me. You have a reputation for deceit.
And who has slandered me so? Your malefactor, Kain? The one who betrayed and destroyed you? Our common enemy? Consider the source before you judge me too harshly. We'll forget about rekindling our old friendship then, but consider an alliance based on our common ground. We both want Kain dead. I can help you do it.
You don't want to meddle in this, old man. I know all about your sordid little schemes, but you're simply out of your depth on this one.
You underestimate me, Raziel. Let me show you. Even now, Kain is lying in wait for you, unaware that I've snatched you out of the time stream and brought you here to me. See how he lingers at the very pillars he is destined to destroy, foolishly confident that he has eluded your grasp.
The pillars are still standing in this time.
Yes, Raziel. They are the embodiment of the divine force which preserves the life of our world. We who serve the pillars maintain their delicate balance, and Kain is destined to be the fulcrum upon which that balance turns. I believe you have already endured the wasteland wrought by his terrible, selfish decision. Kain's very existence is a cancer upon this world. As long as he lives, all of Nosgoth is in peril. You may never again be human, Raziel. But you can re-embrace the essence of your humanity and the nobility of your Sarafan heritage. Go to him, Raziel, and end this. But first, you will need to find your way out of the stronghold, and in this, I'm afraid I cannot help you. My soldiers will not understand your appearance here. They will try to kill you. You needn't fear them, of course. They're no match for you. Try to keep the casualties to a minimum. But do what you have to do. All great movements require a few martyrs.
Alone now, I surveyed my surroundings and noticed a second time-streaming chamber. Its entrance identical to the first, but with one distinction. That crystal was significant, but how, I had not yet discovered.
Okay, so Soul Reaver 2.
Welcome back, bitches, after that long cutscene.
Definitely my favourite of the and my analog's playing up a little bit.
The Oh Dear My Analog's Playing Up a Bit game series.
Yeah.
A tradition long held.
This one has analog. And the Scourge, apparently.
Oh, he got you right in the tits.
Yeah, but look at that. I'm surprised he's still standing after that beating. Look at this guy, he just doesn't... Oh, he's dead now.
God.
Anyways, it plays pretty much exactly the same as Soul Reaver 1, apart from it's PlayStation 2, so it's slightly better. The combat is still something that, like, the developer was just like, say, was it Amy Hedging?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was kind of like, yeah, the combat's still a bit basic. But
Quite honestly,
the story...
I was about to say about the story just then. Oh, wow, I'm smashing ass for that. I was about to say about the story. Oh, good God!
Yeah, what about the story?
I'm having a brain aneurysm trying to remember all the different timelines and voyages through time Kain's had. Because when they said that the pillars are still standing, I was like, but Varador's killed the council. Isn't that right alongside?
No, they don't. Like, the pillars don't get corrupted.
Holy shit, you cut that guy's head off.
Yeah, well, like, people like have like a bit in gaming when it's kind of like, you know, when like voice acting became serious, and then a lot of people it was like Metal Gear Solid.
Oh,
And for some reason, Metal Gear Solid wasn't really the game that did that for me. It was this one. That was kind of like, oh shit.
So if
this is what a video game can be.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid did that for me. The idea of like really competent storytelling. That was the first time I ever did it. Well, I did it way before because we only had a PS1 at the time. I remember I was really young when I got to Rex, and I was thinking I actually felt emotionally involved in Grey Fox's death. Anyways, we'll talk more. You can do this cutscene.
Yeah.
I know you're waiting to do a cutscene. I can tell.
Throughout the stronghold, I discovered evidence of my former nobility and my life as a Sarafan priest. This was the heritage so foully stolen from me when Kain raided my sacred crypt and defiled me.
Yes, Soul Reaver 2 has, and again, yeah, definitely it is up there in the games that have that narrative that's very engaging. So I think it's definitely one of the games. I think the first few tried it. They tried to make a really engaging storyline, but they didn't streamline it. And so you want about The Last of Us, it really manages to balance gameplay with this really competent, easy to grasp story. And so does Metal Gear Solid as a series, although they have a bit like bullshit in it. But Soul Reaver 2 is definitely one of those ones where it's a lot more buy sword.
And you can throw the sword into the skybox.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those games where the story is incredibly engaging, the dialogue's great. So if you go back to the previous ending part of Soul Reaver playthrough we did, you'll see how incredibly angry I was and fed up I was. But you'll see the dialogue is much different from...
They might not see that, they might just see like a big fast forward.
Yeah, fast forward here and there, but I was fucking pissed off. But you'll see how the difference between dialogue delivery in Soul Reaver 1 and then the opening of Soul Reaver 2 is just like astoundingly different and really well done. Anyways, carry on!
Away from the influence of Mobius's cursed staff, I could feel the strength of the Soul Reaver slowly returning. If that orb was as debilitating to vampires as it was to the blade, it gave Mobius a powerful advantage over his enemies. I finally understood how Mobius's crusade could decimate the vampires so successfully. If he could immobilize his enemies, they were at his mercy.
Why, I wondered, would the staff have any effect on the Reaver?
Ooh. Mystery.
Interesting, I've never seen her walk that way before.
It's always time for new things. Oh, you lost your Reaver. You lost your Reaver.
Well, it's the OG Reaver, so if I get hit, it goes. There's, like, again, it's a story of a game, so it's a bit, oh no, I didn't want to do that, whatever.
Oh,
that's not gonna stand. But, what was I saying? Yeah, a bit plot heavy at the beginning. There's gonna be a few more cutscenes after kill her.
Quite honestly, this, like, the Legacy of Kain series would make a good trilogy of films, but you really need to condense them right the fuck down. You missed, silly bitch.
Yeah.
As I neared the stronghold's inner sanctum, a strange sensation crept over me. An indescribable feeling of displacement, a sense of vertigo, as reality itself appeared to warp and bend around me. The disturbance seemed to emanate from the sanctuary's furthest chapel. As I cautiously approached, the sense of dislocation intensified with each step. So this was the tomb of the beloved King William the Just, beatified here as the martyr and catalyst of Mobius's crusade. I was reminded of Kain's journey as a fledgling vampire, how Mobius coerced him to travel back in history and assassinate William, thus igniting a genocidal hatred of vampires among the citizens of Nosgoth. And here I discovered the source of the displacement. The Soul Reaver itself, laid out like a holy relic, and broken, apparently in the battle between William and Kain. I had not thought such a thing was possible, until, of course, Kain shattered the blade against me when he tried to strike me down. Thus, the captive spirit inhabiting the Reaver was released, and binding itself to me became my symbiotic weapon. And so the Reaver met its former self, still imprisoned in this corporeal shell. I watched, mesmerized, as the Wraith blade uncoiled itself and snaked down the length of the physical blade. Embracing its twin, its mirror self, the Reaver's long-dormant spirit was now fully aroused. And for the first time, I felt the true presence of this other entity, willful, ravenous, and deranged from thousands of years of imprisonment. The Reaver was now in command, and I, now merely its helpless host, felt my soul being leached to restore the blade. But the Reaver knew better than to destroy its host, and just as I neared the brink of oblivion, the blade released its hold on me. As I recovered, I realized we were now bound together in a fragile alliance. The Reaver no longer merely my symbiotic weapon, but a sentient parasite competing for control. What have you done to me, Mobius? Is this your trap?
How mine? Don't forget it was Kain who led you here, not I. While you curse me, the only soul in Nosgoth ready to guide and assist you, Kain laughs at our folly and revels in your dismay.
These blades, now coiled in sinister embrace, have inspired terror in the hearts of creatures far more durable than you, old man. Bound together as they are, I can only imagine what they could do to your soul's fragile shell.
Raziel, I beg you to stay your hand. This was none of my doing. I have sought only to aid you in your righteous quest.
Why, you're trembling, Mobius. Has your confidence abandoned you? You seem to have made a fatal error by leaving your precious staff behind. Is that where all your courage comes from?
Listen to me, Raziel. You don't know what you're doing. I have taken an enormous risk by appearing here before you, so defenseless, yet eager to prove my good intentions. If there's anything left of the Seraphim in you, you won't do this. While you threaten me, your true enemy eludes you.
Don't concern yourself with Kain, old man. He'll join you in hell soon enough. As you said, death comes for us all.
Yes, the Wheel of Fate demands it.
What did you say?
The Wheel of Fate. The inexorable cycle of death and rebirth to which all men are compelled. We serve the same God, Raziel. To strike me down would be striking God's own attendant. And I don't believe even you would take that risk.
I tire of your games, Mobius. Now that I know you fear me, I needn't concern myself with you. Kain is waiting for me.
Go then, Raziel. Seek Kain out and destroy him in the name of the one God we both serve. You, who were once a Seraphim priest, murdered, profaned, destroyed, and reborn again from his mercy. You are now most powerfully equipped to be his agent, his instrument of restoration and retribution.
My own vengeance is motivation enough.
By my soul, you almost had me, my little blue assassin. But that'll be the one and only chance you get. I assure you of that.
I could now summon the blade at will, regardless of my strength. But once summoned, the blade's ravenous appetite could not be contained. It devoured the souls of its victims, and if I allowed it to become over-aroused, the Reaver would now turn its hunger on me. So this was the legendary Janos Audrin, reputed to have been the most ancient and diabolical vampire to have ever existed. According to folklore, he lived high in the cliffs of Nosgoth's northern mountains and preyed mercilessly on the defenseless villagers below. His reign of terror ended when the Seraphim finally hunted him down and tore his throbbing heart from his still-living body. This relic came to be known as the Heart of Darkness, and was supposedly imbued with the power to restore vampiric unlife. The Seraphim therefore guarded it carefully, lest the heart fall into the hands of their enemies. But I wondered, could Janos Audrin truly have been as monstrous as depicted here? Or was this merely artistic license by the Seraphim, who sought to lionize themselves by demonizing their darkest enemy?
Oh, okay.
Wow.
We lost all our health.
That's a lot of story in fucking no time at all.
Right, so we can activate the Reaver in the menu. Alright, I'm back. You can disactivate the Reaver in the menu, or, activate it, or you could just hit circle twice to, turn it on and off. There you go.
Delicious. So, as I was saying earlier, turning this game series, is this a cutscene?
I'm not actually sure. Let's find out. No, it's not. It's just a corridor. But
Oh,
it'll be a
God.
cutscene at the end of this corridor.
Oh god, I want a long time to talk about when I talk about. It's the only problem with Story Reaver, there's a million cutscenes. A lot of them are great in Story Reaver 2. A lot of them are kind of pants. Oh, it's kind of like, half-half.
Strange how my history came full circle. This chapel, I realized, was a memorial to my former Seraphim brethren and myself. All of us martyred here, and then so cruelly profaned by Kain when he imposed his gift on our noble corpses. For the first time, I beheld the image of my Seraphim self, memorialized here among my fallen comrades. It tortured me to see how noble and pure I had been, and what a vile phantasm I had become, and a profound sense of injury of loss and betrayal welled up in me, so overwhelming I could barely contain it. All I wanted at this moment was to find Kain and destroy him.
Whoa, I mean, like, only Raziel's good enough to have a statue of himself.
The others aren't. They get murals. You get a fucking sexy statue.
I get nearly ganked.
Nearly.
Nearly.
Totally ganked.
But I won.
Yeah, anyways, a long time to talk about why there should be a film series.
There shouldn't be.
I reckon there should.
I reckon there shouldn't be.
You could condense the idea of it down to 3
Make
films.
it anime.
Oh, that Castlevania anime's garbage.
I've not seen it yet.
Well, season 1's garbage.
Season 1's alright.
Yeah, meh. Cutscene?
No, at the end of this, at the end of this corridor. So,
Shoot me in the dick.
but it's gonna be your turn. We're gonna do it co-op again. I figured out a way to make it co-op.
Really?
Yeah. It's just literally, I've written down the locations.
Shut your mouth!
I emerged, and for the first time beheld Nosgoth in its former glory. The land overflowed with abundant life and vitality, and I knew with certainty then that the world I had left behind was nothing more than the corpse of Nosgoth, a lifeless husk bled dry by the corruption of Kain's parasitic empire. This was the fragile world Kain sacrificed to preserve his own petty life and ambition, heedless of the profound cost. The sight only deepened my resolve. I sensed that the pillars lay to the northwest. If Kain truly waited to confront me there, I would not disappoint him.
It was really good to put this. I'm going over here first because you guessed it. There's another cutscene. Now, how do I? Alright, it's L2 and X to do the thingy.
I'm gonna be so slow at this gameplay. It's gonna be unbelievable.
I did not yet possess the means to unlock this barrier, but this enigmatic symbol was clearly the key.
Anyways, your turn.
Boom,
Oh,
boom,
just
boom.
on a short side note, that door took me forever as a kid to find. So
Really?
It's referenced later.
Well, it's the first Reaver
No,
spell
it's
you
the
get.
second. Well, it's the first Reaver to open
Yeah,
the door.
yeah, because it's a Dark Reaver.
But
You fucking idiot.
no, there's a cutscene later saying like, now I can open the door in the lake. I was just like, I didn't see any door in the lake.
What button is it? Do the thingy.
What, L2 and X? Boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've listed it out how we're gonna do this because I'm a nerd, as you know.
Oh shit.
Oh no, it's almost like you've had a few westerns.
I'm this way.
Yeah, you're going forward.
As I passed this arcane landmark, a wisp of the Reaver's energy was drawn into the ring, illuminating it. This created a beacon of sorts in the spirit world. If ever I found myself depleted in the spectral realm and my soul tossed on the ethereal winds, these beacons would draw me back to safety and restore me.
Right, cool, checkpoints. So anyways, I agree, this game is like my favourite of all of them.
Yeah,
It
same.
has, I would say, phenomenal writing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's better than Defiance. I reckon like Lex Kain Defiance is a bit of a letdown.
They improved the combat a little bit, but gameplay. Like,
Hagen, she was the creative director on that one as well, but she left before it was released to go to Naughty Dog, and you know then she made like the first 3 Uncharted games,
which are tremendous.
which you find a bit of a rip-off. I'm gonna shut up now because there's gonna be another cutscene.
Yeah,
And
shut
then
your
a cutscene.
fucking mouth!
God damn it, Amy! Why do you make so many cutscenes?
Cupcakes! Oh, you can talk longer because it's going to take me a while to get out of this abyss of filth.
Just hit. What are you doing?
Go!
These ancient obelisks were mysteriously attuned to my spiritual essence. By simply touching the symbol, I could safely preserve an imprint of my soul.
and thus create a milestone to which I could return when weary, and from which I could resume my journey.
Wow, that's a long-winded way of saying it's a save game state. You
it kind of
dildo.
It also kind of represents the thingy save, Bloodroman 1 save statues, almost. Anyways, Amy, she worked on Defiance and then she left just before the game launched or something like that. I don't think she had as much time to work on that one as like this one, evidently. And like some of the things, like I'm gonna show up again because you know what's gonna happen. So, yeah.
While I had only just escaped the stronghold, I sensed that in time my journey would return me full circle to this place. Infiltrating the fortress, however, would be no small feat. The balcony that had provided my escape was now well beyond my reach, leaving this massive gateway as the only means of entry. The gates were sealed, but like the time-streaming chamber I had seen earlier, their operation was undoubtedly linked to that odd crystal mounted above the entrance.
Ooh.
Oh my god, I'm a sneaky Raziel. Time to fuck, baby.
Yeah, like Defiance just adds stuff in it that is kind of like in the continuity of the game. It adds stuff. So like the Reaver will slowly, every time you use the Reaver, you have that bar that's popping up in the bottom right corner.
It'll essentially overheat, won't it?
It'll overheat, but it will take your health away. They completely scrapped that in like Defiance, so it's just like the ultimate weapon. And how they do stuff like Raziel can climb walls in the spectral realm, which he was never able to do in the first two games. You know, like stuff like that. But anyways, if you just let it cool down a bit and keep using it, it is the best weapon in the game.
Ew. Odd fuck me. I'm blue.
So the story's great, but like they've admitted that the combat is kind of lacking a bit. So the combat in Defiance, sure, it's the best combat in the series. But
It's
like it's nothing in comparison to like Devil May Cry 1.
Ooh, a sweet backspin. Cool sword. Yeah, no. As I was saying to Max in the middle of a cutscene, oh shit, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's beat this lady up.
You were saying to me in the middle of a cutscene, what?
Yeah, I agree. The writing is absolutely. Can I throw this thing?
Yeah, just hold L2. Oh, R2. R2, triangle.
Oh! Nailed him. Oh,
he nailed you with the slowest projectile going in the game. He still hit you. He bitch slapped you with his cannon thing.
And he said,
"Oh, you were killing him."
And he said,
saying, "Prepare to die."
Yeah. Wow, that guy's a Dark Souls fan. I love it.
Ooh.
Oh, is that Faradol Crows?
The spoilers.
Cutscene! Here it comes. Get ready. I've got a big hard-on for the cutscene time.
No, it's not here yet.
Oh, shit. Anyways, I was saying to you previously during a cutscene that the dialogue in the game...
Say it quick.
The dialogue in the game is... Oh! The French.
What about the French?
Christ, that's fucking me up. The dialogue's absolutely astoundingly good. I took it to a tutor of mine who is actually an established TV screenwriter, and she was saying she was surprised that a video game. I don't know why she had this misconception that a video game can't have good dialogue.
Oh, you said bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, basically.
And then you showed off Deadly Premonition.
I actually showed off the cutscene of when you first meet Kain at the Pillars.
Ah,
yeah,
well, that's good. That's a good cutscene.
And then I explained to her what the concept of the game was. There's a lot of the time traveling and whatnot. Give me a little doggy soul. Oop, checkpoint. Oh, that's a guy.
Why did you just? What are you doing? Like seriously?
What am I doing in my life? I don't. slicing heads off. Boop. Yeah. This game also has enough PS2 graphics to actually show off some range of emotion in the character models.
Well, this is a 2001 game, it should be noted. It's like first year PlayStation 2. I know it came out in like 2000, but it is essentially like one of the very first games.
It's definitely one of the best.
These vampires had nothing in common with the deranged jackals I left behind in Kain's derelict empire. They seemed to retain much of their former humanity. In this era, vampires were clearly not the uncontested predators we had been. These creatures were hunted mercilessly and oppressed. And while I still believed that vampirism was a plague and had to be wiped out, there was nothing noble or righteous in this crusade. This was simply ruthless persecution.
Cannot remember.
Bar what?
Oh, Bar Shadow of the Colossus. I mean, that came out at the end of the PS2 era.
Wait, what you said? Oh right, I thought you was talking about. You were still talking about the dialogue.
No, it's in the best games that came out for this console generation. Okay.
Oh, for me and you, sure, but like, well, more. I don't know. Would you say more so me? I've played this game 50 times. It is a short game. It is pretty much like you could pretty much just be in. Obviously, in your first run, you don't know where you're going and whatnot. But
what, it's like, it's just like 3 hours?
It's
a
like
speed run, it's even shorter.
4 to 5 hours I could complete this game in. So it's probably just going to be like 4 or 5 parts, to be honest. Well, it depends on like, you know, your parts.
Oh, best cutscene in the entire fucking game. Can do it. Here we go, cutscene time. Well, one of the best. What the fuck?
Yeah, you have to hold it.
Bitch.
Alright, now it's the best cutscene.
The pillars of Nosgoth, pristine, whole, and uncorrupted. I had never beheld them in this undefiled state, yet something profound and indelible resonated within me at the sight. And there, waiting at the very heart of the pillars, was the canker that was destined to destroy them.
I know you're there, Raziel.
Mobius led me to you, Kain, though I might have guessed you'd meet me here.
And if Mobius told you I was hidden on the underside of hell, would you throw yourself into oblivion to pursue me? Mobius trawls for the ignorant and unwary, hauling his gasping prey from the streams of their destinies. Stay out of his net, Raziel.
Spare me your elaborate metaphors, Kain. I have pursued you here for one purpose. You will pay for your betrayal, and balance will thus be restored to Nosgoth.
And whose will is satisfied then? The will of Raziel or Mobius?
Would I be better manipulated by you, Kain? Now, turn and face me. The chase is over.
This isn't a chase, Raziel. We are merely passengers on the wheel of destiny, describing a perfect circle to this point. We've been brought here for a reason. I've seen the beginning and the end of our story, however, and the tale is crude and ill-conceived. We must rewrite the ending of it. You and I.
Face me, Kain. Even you shouldn't die a coward's death.
Isn't it customary to grant the condemned a final request?
I recall no such courtesy from you.
Indulge me, Raziel. All I ask is that you listen. This is the sublime moment of our undoing, Raziel. The ineffable fulcrum upon which swings the entirety of our history. This is where all of Nosgoth is betrayed. In this instant, Ariel, the Balance Guardian, is murdered by dark forces bent on overthrowing the Pillars. Her spirit is just now tearing free, lost in the ether, trying to find its way here. You have already seen how she comes to haunt these pillars.
Bound here by your refusal to die. You are the reason this land becomes diseased. As long as you remain alive, you condemn Nosgoth to an eternity of decay.
Be still, Raziel. See this. As Ariel dies, I am being born to take her place as Balance Guardian. Such is my destiny.
My God.
At the moment of my first cry, Ariel's beloved, the Guardian Nupraptor, finds her corpse. Racked with grief and tormented by suspicions of treachery, Nupraptor plunges into a madness which overflows and infects all of the Guardians who are symbiotically bound, including me. The repercussions of Ariel's assassination were expertly calculated. The entire circle descends into madness, and I am tainted at the moment of my birth, instantly rendered incapable of fulfilling the role destiny has prepared for me.
Shall I show you the same mercy you showed the rest of the circle, then? You blithely murdered them to restore their pillars, yet your hand faltered when it came to the final sacrifice. What makes you exempt, Kain? You're merely the last man standing. Why condemn me for simply carrying out what you hadn't the courage to do yourself?
Let's drop the moral posturing, shall we? We both know there's no altruism in this pursuit. Your reckless indignation led you here. I counted on it. There's no shame in it, Raziel. Revenge is motivation enough. At least it's honest. Hate me, but do it honestly. 30 years hence, I am presented with a dilemma. Let's call it a two-sided coin. If the coin falls one way, I sacrifice myself and thus restore the pillars. But as the last surviving vampire in Nosgoth, this would mean the annihilation of our species. Mobius made sure of that. If the coin lands on the reverse, I refuse the sacrifice and thus doom the pillars to an eternity of collapse. Either way, the game is rigged.
We agree, then, that the pillars are crucial and must be restored.
Yes, Raziel. And that's why we've come full circle to this place.
So after all this, you make my case for me. To end this stalemate, you must die so that new Guardians can be born.
The pillars don't belong to them, Raziel. They belong to us.
Your arrogance is boundless, Kain.
There's a third option. A monumental secret, hidden in your very presence here. But it's a secret you have to discover for yourself. Unearth your destiny, Raziel. It's all laid out for you here.
You said it yourself, Kain. There are only two sides to your coin.
Apparently so. But suppose you throw a coin enough times. Suppose one day it lands on its edge.
Oh, well. Did you enjoy that
The
cutscene?
best cutscene in the game.
Absolutely brilliant.
It's about to come up after you walk beyond those pillars.
What if the coin lands on its edge?
I didn't know what impulse stayed my hand, why I had so willingly allowed Kain to escape me when I had pursued him for so long. I had no reason to trust Kain after he had valued me so little, and yet I found myself intrigued by his words. I had been too cruelly used to so gullibly play his pawn, but if this world truly had secrets to divulge, I was determined to expose them.
Oh, secretive, saucy, naughty almost. I can't climb yet. Fuck.
No, you can climb, but you can't climb up there. You have to maybe do something with your special abilities, or it just says go spectral.
I love it. Just fucking go, Spectral dickhead. Stop doing your gay jump. Turns into steps.
It might be the boys are back.
In town?
No, the cute boys.
Oh. Oh. So, oh my god. So if you've seen the Let's Play of Soul Reaver, the first game, I absolutely love the cute boys. The cute boys are the shit. Let's see if they're just as cute. Ooh.
Will they be in your movie trilogy that should never be made?
Oh, they would be in my movie trilogy. Cute boy, and it'll also be introduced as cute boys. Raziel would go, these strange cute boys. They make the same noise! Oh, absorb a cute boy. I love the skulls.
Oh yeah, like the spirits have changed the skulls in the spectral realm.
I fucking love cute boys. Episode 1 titled "Cute Boys Are Us." And they go. Look at them. Fucking,
maybe they can't actually. I don't think. I think they've hit their zone. They can't like go any more forward towards you.
How much cuter can you get? Except that retard running into a wall. Right, so these guys are the cutest little motherfuckers in town. Boop, love you. See you later. I absolutely love them. They're my favourite. Anyways, back to the mortal realm.
Back to more cutscenes. That's the biggest complaint I have.
From the moment of my arrival, I had the constant and palpable sensation of being watched. Someone, it seemed, was keenly interested in my presence here.
Ooh! Little green crows.
So someone's interested in your presence. Who could it be?
Also, what the fuck is the point of a compass in the top left-hand corner?
You can turn it off.
In a game that is completely linear.
Well, you have a map. Yeah, like, what are you doing?
Try and jump up there.
Why?
But obviously it's this way.
You trying to break the game?
No.
Oh my god.
You're gonna regret ever doing Let's Plays with me.
From the look of it, this door had been sealed for centuries. I began to realize it was no mere coincidence that I found myself standing here, beneath this winged figure with blue skin and cloven hands so like my own, and bearing this unique key.
Sorry, what were you saying, Max?
Just put the sword in the door.
Yeah, but just 1 minute. Does that look like it's his pisser?
It kind of looks like he's peeing a little bit.
Yeah, he's got an erection, but he's pissing from the slit that goes to his prostate.
That's getting a bit unsafe.
And so it was with a sense of gravity and trepidation that I unsealed that ancient door and crossed the threshold.
Cross the pussy wall.
The threshold of the slit in the prostate pussy card cockhole. Anyways.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of, like, the word endowed a lot in this series. I know. Just keep going.
What endowed? I'm talking to you. Basically, what I want to say is the dialogue over... Oh,
yeah. Don't worry about it. Continue.
Oh, is he pissing from his little
You
pussy?
didn't even comment on, like, how that sound effect the door made.
Oh, no.
Me out as a child.
Shut up a sec, because he's pissing from his pussy slit right there. You see it? Oh, sorry. That was ruin the... Oh, can't monetize this video. Anyways,
I'm not even legible for monetization, so don't say anything. Just keep on going.
Basically, yeah. So, that... Is there anything in here I need to worry about?
No, you have to worry when you're going down the steps.
Yeah, look at these ghouls, though.
Don't you remember the shades, actually? They're the servants of our old master. Who could it be? Or someone who claims to be our master.
It's going to get fucking gangsters now. Anyways, as I was saying, the noise that you could hear in the background of that cutscene while the door opened was overridden by Raziel's dialogue. And it's this little... That's the noise it makes. But it's super creepy. It's like great sound design. Where am I going? That way?
Yeah, you're just following the path downwards.
Alright. literally do not give a shit. I'm speedrunning. Also, well, I shouldn't really.
Yeah. Also, make it quick because
look at
this game is going into no cutscene.
We're going to the Oracle, but look at look at the absolutely wonderful level design of this game. Considering this is the first year the PS2 was out.
Yeah.
Just look at the detail of the ground, the detail of the columns.
Yeah, I think Metal Gear Solid 2 beat it with its detailing.
Nah, Metal Gear Solid 2 is really good, but also this is like old gothic styling. Metal Gear Solid 2 and this were both pinnacles, and Final Fantasy X. So, yeah, anyways, here's a big squid tentacle hentai guy.
As I entered the chamber, I sensed that it had been sealed for hundreds, perhaps thousands of years. And while this room was clearly built when the pillars were erected, I knew that no human hand could have shaped this place, and that perhaps it had never been seen by human eyes. The surrounding murals depicted a winged race, their features so like my own, but beautiful, where mine were grotesque, and angelic, while mine were demonic. I tried to decipher these images. A great war, but with combatants like none I had ever seen. The pillars, raised by this winged race, who thus defeated their adversaries. The winged beings again, writhing in agony, apparently afflicted with the same bloodthirst I had so recently suffered. And throughout the chamber, inscribed everywhere, images of the Reaver itself. Was this what Kain had urged me to discover? I wondered.
Lies, Raziel. Do not be deceived.
Ah, my ancient benefactor. And I dared to hope we had parted ways forever. Your silence was refreshing, but it lasted. No doubt you have a conveniently inexpressible reason for your presence here.
Do not be insolent, Raziel. I am eternally present here and everywhere, now and always. I am the still center of the turning wheel, the hub of this world's destiny.
But perhaps not so omnipotent as you'd have me believe. Your hold on me appears to be tenuous. I no longer seem to need you. Yet I'm guessing you still need me.
This impudence is unworthy of you, Raziel. Do not forget that you have a task to fulfill here. You are indebted to me.
Indebted? You would have me show gratitude for a gift I didn't ask to be bestowed. Do you forget that you forced me to inhabit this vile carcass?
I restored you to yourself, Raziel. It was Kain who destroyed you. The very enemy you've just let slip through your grasp. Do not fail me, my servant.
I serve no one. Not you, not Kain, and not your lackey Mobius.
Mobius is my good servant. I have many.
And if I tell Mobius that he's worshipping a giant squid, do you think his faith will falter?
You have grown willful, Raziel. But beware. To embrace a serpent is to invite poison into your heart. Kain is a sinuous beast. He will seduce and deceive you. You pride yourself on your free will, yet you let that degenerate deter your resolve.
I harbor no illusions about his integrity, nor anyone else's. In fact, I am beset by manipulation on all sides. I merely seek the truth.
These are the fathomless truths, Raziel. The agony of birth and death and rebirth. This is the wheel of fate, the purifying cycle which sustains all life. Vampires are an abomination, a plague which leeches this land of its spiritual strength. They obstruct the flow of life and death. Their souls stagnate in their wretched corpses. But the wheel must turn. Death is inexorable and cannot be denied. Your destiny is irresistible, Raziel. You are my soul reaver, the scourge of the vampires, reaper of their apostate souls. Remain steadfast, end the vampire's parasitic curse, and restore Nosgoth. Kain's blood belongs on your hands.
Kain indeed deserves to die for condemning me to this repugnant form, but if and when I kill him, it will be for me alone to decide.
Kain destroyed you without a flicker of remorse. He tore the soul from your noble corpse, and after you had served him faithfully for 1,000 years, he discarded you in the abyss on a jealous whim. Remember your rage, Raziel. Let it guide your hand.
Okay then.
Wow.
So that's a strong opening.
Thank you, Mr. Hentai Man, for this little brief recap. Yeah, catch us next time on part 2.
Bye, hentai.